Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Now Huawei Malaysia just launched their brand new Huawei Nova 11 series smartphones, and they come in three sizes. We do have the Pro that sits at the top, we have the non-Pro that sits in the middle, and of course we do have the 11i that is sort of the budget version. Now in today's video, we're going to take a look at the one that sits at the top, that is the Huawei Nova 11 Pro. Now the good thing is that I do have both colors here with me today, so let's take a quicker look at what's this device really all about and who is it really targeted at. Let's begin the video right away. Now first and foremost, I think the main highlight of this Huawei Nova 11 Pro is actually in terms of that design. You can see that Huawei is really putting in a lot of effort in creating a design that is not just unique, but also one that stands out from the norm. So what we have at the back here is actually a vegan material kind of back panel here. And of course, with a vegan leather kind of feel, you do have a sort of more premium feel. It feels more luxurious because it might remind you of a certain luxury bag. And other than that, I think the most helpful use of this kind of materials is actually the fact that it gives you more grip when you hold your phone. So you don't really need to use a case because it is very grippy at the back. Now once you zoom in a little bit closer into the back panel here, you might notice that we do have a lot of Nova writings or logos at the back. Now these logos are monograms, and apparently it is debossed. That means that it sinks inside. It's pressed into the vegan leather back panel here. It's not like embossed where it sticks out. This one is pressed into the materials here, and it does feel quite nice. You do have sort of a texture at the back here that I think is quite interesting. And again, the whole idea of this back panel design is to make it stand out from the crowd. So yeah, let me know what you think. Would you go for the green or would you go for the black? Now moving on to the next point here, let's talk a bit more about the slimness of this device because it's really very thin. The camera lens only sticks out that little bit, just a very tiny bit, and it doesn't really wobble that much on the table if you put it flat down. Other than that, if you take one more closer look at the detail, you might notice that there is some writings that goes around the lens of the camera itself. And this brings me to my next part of the video, which is all about those cameras. What kind of cameras do you have at the back? Now the rear cameras here is actually a dual sensor combination. You have a 50 megapixel main sensor as well as an 8 megapixel ultra wide. Now naturally, I did took some shots yesterday in the afternoon, and I noticed one thing about this camera here, and that is the colors actually look very true to life. Now on previous Huawei models and even on other smartphones, we always see, phone makers tend to sort of like oversaturate their pictures. It makes it pop a little bit more, but for the Nova 11 Pro, I noticed that it actually looked very true to life, guys. So I think that's a great thing because in today's world of smartphones where everything just looks a bit more different, if you are looking for something that looks really exactly, almost as if you were seeing it with your own eyes, then I think this camera is actually quite an interesting feature. Now onto the front, we also have a very interesting combination here. This is not something new. It's actually the same combination as the previous Nova version, and that is we still have that dual selfie camera at the front. Now this is being led by a 60 megapixel ultra-wide sensor, and you also get another 8 megapixel telephoto lens, which is actually like 2 times zoom. So I'm not really sure who the zoom lens or portrait lens is really for because you're going to be zooming in really close into your face. I think it might be particularly useful if you just want to check like if there is any imperfections on your face. Let's say you are going for a meeting and you want to make sure your teeth do not have any food in between, or make sure your nose is clean. Well, then I think that zoom lens is actually pretty useful. But other than that, the 60 megapixel ultra wide is really great here because not only does it allow you to capture a really wide scene, but you have the option of going 1.0, or you can also go 0.6. So ultra wide basically allows you to capture more of your environment inside. And I know a lot of people these days, they like to take photos this way or something like that. And I think you can really, leverage on that ultra wide front selfie camera to capture those kind of shots. So that's what you get on the Nova 11 Pro. Now other than that, what else do we have here in terms of the battery? Because this is a very slim device, you only get a 4500 mAh battery, but just like before, you still get that 100 watt supercharged charger in the box. So it charges up from 0 to 50% in I think just 15 minutes, which is again very fast. And in terms of the display at the front, you still get a 6.78 inch. It's a very tall display, by the way. Slightly curved on the sides, OLED panel that refreshes at 120 Hz. So everything is going to be really smooth. Other than that, if you're wondering about the processor, yes, we still have that Snapdragon 778G. It still does supports 4G for the moment. I'm sure you guys are already familiar with that. But the best part here is that it still runs all those Google apps very easily. If you are still wondering how to run Google Apps on your Huawei phone. I did a video on Lighthouse where you can install it. And even if you do not install Lighthouse, guys, you can still download them and use it directly from the app gallery. So that's that, the Huawei Nova 11 Pro. Just a very quick look at these devices here. Again, let me know what you think about these devices. They are coming out really soon. I don't really have an exact date for now, and I don't have the price as well, so sorry about that. But based on the previous generation, it was RM2599 if I'm not mistaken, so you can expect sort of a price around that figure. With that said, thank you for watching today's video all the way to the end. Again, don't forget to drop a like and sub to the channel if you want to see more content like this. I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. Stay safe, everybody. Bye-bye.